Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2019 NSLA Summer Learning Awards Kickoff webinar. I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes to join the room. While we're doing that, go ahead and answer that poll question that you see on your screen. It looks like we have a lot of first-timers joining us. Welcome. And welcome to those of you who are joining us again. Just a couple more seconds with that poll and we'll get started. Great, thank you everybody for letting me know where you are at in the process of applying for an NSLA award. Again, welcome to our returning applicants and our newcomers as well. My name is Leslie Gabay-Swanston. I'm the Director of Program and Systems Quality here at the National Summer Learning Association. Thank you for taking the time to connect with us today to learn more about the award application process. A few guidelines before we get started. If you'd like to use the audio from your phone, please dial the number indicated on the webinar and enter the access code. Also, to help keep things moving today, we're going to mute all participants in the webinar to reduce background noise. We'll take all your questions via the Q&A box at the top of your screen. So if you have any questions at any time about the presentation, please type it in the Q&A box, and we'll have time at the end of the presentation to answer all of your questions. A quick outline of our webinar today. We'll let you know a little bit more about the National Summer Learning Association, explain what the Summer Learning Awards are and the quality standards they're based on. We'll give some specifics about the 2019 application, then we'll spend some time hearing from one of our wonderful 2018 winners. Finally, we'll open up for Q&A, but as I said, feel free to type your questions in the Q&A box as we're going along, and we'll answer them at the end. This webinar is being recorded, and it will be shared and posted on our website. The National Summer Learning Association is the only national nonprofit exclusively focused on closing the achievement gap by increasing access to high-quality summer learning opportunities. NSLA's goal is to increase nationwide the number of high-quality summer learning programs designed to close the achievement gap. To achieve this goal, NSLA recognizes and disseminates what works, offers expertise and support for programs and communities, and advocates for summer learning as a solution for equity and excellence in education. NSLA's work is driven by the belief that all children and youth deserve high-quality summer learning experiences that will help them succeed in college, career, and life. The Summer Learning Awards are a big piece of recognizing and disseminating what works in summer learning. The goal of the Summer Learning Awards is recognizing outstanding summer programs or models that demonstrate excellence in accelerating academic achievement and promoting healthy development for youth. The Summer Learning Awards have developed as a program with far-reaching implications for improving the quality and impact of the summer learning field as a whole. You can see how the awards help NSLA accomplish our strategic priorities as we use the awards to draw national attention to exemplary summer learning models, while at the same time documenting and disseminating the best practices used in these programs. There are 3 types of awards that fall under the umbrella of the Summer Learning Awards. Defined by its rigorous application and selection process, the New York Life Foundation Excellence in Summer Learning Award has recognized enrollment-based programs and employing staff who work directly with youth since 2005. Summer learning programs can be recognized as an Excellence Award winner if they are a traditional model that is site and enrollment based. The Founders Award was introduced 4 years ago to better document outstanding summer learning practices and models in the field. Programs or summer learning models and systems can apply to this award if they operate as a drop-in site or plug-in program used by summer learning programs or simply summer-focused. Also eligible are wraparound programs that partner with a traditional site or enrollment-based summer program to provide learning or enrichment opportunities during the summer. We also welcome digital and online platforms. Introduced this year, the Land's End Love Learning Award again recognizes informal learning spaces and those that aim to meaningfully engage families. The distinction between the award types may be a bit confusing at first, but our goal is to capture some of the ways programs and organizations are reaching young people and uncover best practices for traditional and non-traditional models. This will help us better understand what the summer programming landscape really has to offer our young people and where there are gaps. You'll see this when you look at the actual application, but you won't need to decide which award to apply to. We use a common application for all of the awards. So you'll answer some questions to tell us the type of program or summer work you are doing, and we'll sort you into the correct category to make sure that you answer the appropriate questions on the application. Here are some of the different types of programs that apply for our awards. Traditional summer program or camp. These are enrollment-based multi-week programs. Drop-in programs. These are any program or offering that is site-based but does not officially enroll young people. Wraparound programs. A program that provides services for young people to fill the gap of multiple programs but does not specifically operate in proper partnership with one specific program. Digital platforms or applications. These include things like digital badging or any program not based at any one specific site that summer programs may use or a child may log into to use independently. State or national models. This may be a curriculum or a model that many sites use across a network, state, or nationally, so that the applicant does not implement directly. We also look for some library or museum-based programs and summer learning systems. These are communities that have developed a summer system-level collaborative to coordinate summer learning opportunities for youth. And then we always have another category of non-enrollment-based programs. So again, when you look at the actual application, you'll see where you'll be able to choose the program type that most closely fits you. There's no cost to apply for the awards aside from your time, and this is not a grant. Through the generous support of the New York Life Foundation and Land's End, we are able to attach a monetary award to the awards. You're being judged on the quality of your past summer work, not your future plans. All summer programs are encouraged to apply. However, if your program excels in any of these areas of focus, NSLA would particularly like to lift up your program as a leading example nationally. This does not impact your eligibility, but we're looking for exemplary programs in these categories. If you think your program sort of fits the award guidelines, you should definitely apply if you fall into one of these categories. Now let's get a little into the award process. The awards are given annually based on an application process that elicits information on the program's purpose, culture, flow, history, mission, partnerships, and quality at the point of service. So be ready to provide real on-the-ground examples of programming from summer 2018, this past summer. The Round 1 application is due December 21st. Once the applications are submitted, they will be reviewed for eligibility. Then they will be reviewed by NSLA staff in addition to partners in the field, previous winners, and other education and youth development experts. Applications are measured against the Summer Learning Program Quality Assessment, or SLPQA, developed in partnership by NSLA and the Weichert Center for Youth Program Quality, which I'll explain in a bit more detail on the next slide. Semifinalists will be selected to move on to round 2. During this round, semifinalists will complete the second part of the online application and a phone interview. The phone interviews will be conducted by a panel of NSLA staff and external experts in the spring. Finally, during round 3, NSLA staff conduct site visits to a select group of finalists to observe program activities during the summer. Winners will be announced for Summer Learning Day in July. So a bit more about the SLPQA. The SLPQA was developed and how it impacts the award process. NSLA and the Weichert Center came together to create a tool that would better connect the summer process to the school year process and lean on Weichert's tool, the Youth Program Quality Assessment, or YPQA, and the robust indicators of NSLA's comprehensive assessment of summer programs to create the Summer Learning Program Quality Assessment. Ultimately, our organizations did this for the same reason you serve young people in the summer. We want to improve the quality and youth experience in summer programs across the country. So what is the SLPQA? It is both a measure designed to assess the quality of summer programs and identify staff training needs, a set of items that measure youth access to key development experiences, a tool which produces scores that can be used for comparison and assessment of progress over time, and both a standard for instruction in summer learning program offerings and a measure of performance against that standard. The SLPQA is part of a 4-part annual quality improvement cycle that NSLA encourages and supports programs in implementing. We developed the Summer Starts in September planning guide to help programs in the process of planning, delivering, and improving their summer learning programs. The guide is a comprehensive tool that organizations can utilize to do their own evaluation in collaboration with staff, partners, and other stakeholders. After completing the self-assessment, a program is able to gain a clear view of what is required to deliver high-quality programming. Additionally, the planning guide provides an outline to help discover which strategies you should implement first. The planning guide provides case studies called Profiles in Excellence that describe the best practices and trends in the summer learning space. There are also dozens of templates, checklists, tools, and other resources to help successfully implement changes within a program. NSLA's experts in programs and systems quality work with school districts, summer learning providers, and funders across the country to help shape smarter summers and brighter futures for young people. We offer in-depth guides, resources, and can provide you next step training, conduct a community landscape assessment, and evaluation of your program's quality. Next, I want to walk you through the Summer Learning Awards section of our website. You'll find the Summer Learning Award page when you go to our website, summerlearning.org, under the Events tab. There's so many benefits you receive by participating in the Summer Learning Awards process. Just by submitting an application for one of the awards, you will receive a feedback summary outlining strengths and areas for improvement identified by our program quality staff here at NSLA. All finalists receive a detailed feedback report similar to having a full quality assessment and phone call with members of the NSLA program quality team. A quality assessment for a single program site is valued at up to $4,000. As an award winner, your program will receive a monetary award of $10,000, visibility at the Summer Changes Everything National Conference and in NSLA's Summer Times e-newsletter, invitations to participate in panel discussions, funder summits, webinars, or conference presentations with or on behalf of NSLA, national exposure through NSLA's press release during the busy summer learning season, along with a template press release and talking points to promote your program. You also receive professional development opportunities with peer organizations, the NSLA's affinity group structure, and also possible future case studies or features in NSLA's presentations, publications, or reports widely distributed through the educational field and stage on summerlearning.org. Past winners have used their award in their grant-making process to convey to funders that they have been lifted up as a national leader in summer learning and out-of-school time for underserved youth. If you scroll a little bit further down the Summer Learning Awards page on our website, you'll see the button to apply. You'll click on the button on the left to complete the Summer Learning Award application. Applications are only accepted via the online submission. Clicking on the Apply Today button will take you to a new application portal hosted by a reviewer. Here you will create an account and begin filling out your application. As I mentioned, in the past, people have had questions about their eligibility and which award they should apply for. When you start the application, you'll be asked two sets of questions. The first is to determine if you are eligible to apply for any of the awards. The second set will determine which of the awards you will apply for. It will take the guesswork out of assigning you to one of the three awards. If you're on the fence about applying, I would definitely encourage you to at least take a look at the application. You will be able to log in and out of your application and go back and edit up until the deadline on December 21st, even if you hit the submit button and you receive a confirmation email. As long as you hit save on each page, you can come back and pick up where you left off. We think using this application platform should be pretty intuitive, but if you run into any technical issues, you can contact the folks at Reviewer at support@reviewer.com. And of course, I'm available to answer any questions about the application itself. You can also find profiles of some of our past winners on our website. And here you can learn more about the types of programs that have won our awards over the past 13 years. Now I'd like to introduce our winners of the 2018 Summer Learning Awards. Excellence in Summer Learning Award category, we have Breakthrough at Miami Summer Institute, Oddfellows Playhouse Youth Theater, Children's Circus of Middleton. Our first ever Legacy Award winner, Aim High. Our Founders Award winners, Generation Teach, Summer Teaching Fellowship, Princeton Blairstown Center, the Summer Bridge Program, and Self-Enhancement Incorporated, the Summer Program. These programs bust the myth that summer learning is boring or punitive by offering some of the most engaging, individualized, and hands-on learning opportunities available to young people today. Each program completed the rigorous application process you are all beginning now and have proven themselves as exemplary models of summer learning. I am pleased to be joined today by one of our Excellence Award winners. Lauren Kellner Rudolph is Managing Program Director for Breakthrough Miami. Lauren joined the Breakthrough Miami team in 2007. She previously worked for Miami-Dade County Public Schools as a special education and gifted teacher at F.S. Tucker Elementary. Lauren graduated from the University of Miami, where she earned a Bachelor of Science in Education degree and a Master's of Education in Special Education and Reading. Since joining the Breakthrough Miami team, Lauren has supported the organization in a few roles. In her current role, she manages and supports programming and evaluation. With that, I'm going to turn things over to Lauren.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so happy to be here to share our experience of going through the process last year and to share a little bit about our program here in Miami. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to start with a high-level picture of what Breakthrough does here in Miami, as we do a lot more than summer programming, and then dive into the summer program that we were awarded the Excellence in Summer Learning Award for. So the guiding vision we have here at Breakthrough Miami is that all students should have the opportunity to achieve their full potential and their most ambitious dreams in life. And we do that through a lot of ways. But the goal is, and our vision is, that all students, regardless of their background, their culture, their socioeconomic status, that they can reach their full potential. And the other vision that we have is also about supporting, preparing, and invigorating the next generation of educators and educational supporters, because without educators and quality educators, it'll be really hard to meet the vision of all of our students having quality opportunities to be successful. Diving into our mission, we do that through year-round programming that starts as a rising fifth grader, so the students apply as fourth graders, and we provide services through high school graduation. Year-round, so that's both school year and summer programming, to provide ample opportunities for them to continue to meet their academic goals and exposure to extracurricular and career opportunities. To reach the second part of our mission about creating quality educators and educational advocates, we have a students teaching students model that engages outstanding high school and college students who may or may not really want to be a teacher but have desire to work with their community, and we train them to be educators for the summer, hoping that many of them become lifelong educators, if not educators in the classroom, educational advocates down whatever path they take. So we believe that it's really important to do the work that we do to close this opportunity gap. We all know that the achievement gap exists, but we believe that the opportunity gap is greater than just the achievement gap. And that we know that nationally, the more affluent peers are receiving over 6,000 additional educational hours through extracurricular activities, sports trips, field trips, family travel, that our students are not being exposed to. So we try to provide as many additional hours of academic enrichment opportunities for our students. So the way our program is set up, we have about 300 additional hours of academic support, enrichment, mentoring annually for our students, which helps close that opportunity gap. There's a few things on the bottom, which I'm sure many of you are aware of, but attendance in out-of-school time programming, and the longer that they're involved in the program, the greater impacts on their achievements. And something that we believe cross-age peer or near-peer mentoring provides academic and social development both for the mentors and the mentees. And this near-peer mentoring is really, really key to the work that we do here in Miami. So if you look at some of our long-term results, 100% of our seniors that go through the program from fifth graders all the way through the 8-year journey, 100% of them are graduating on time. 98% of them are graduating and enrolling immediately into colleges and universities. our teaching fellowship, which is our students teaching students model, it's the experience for the high school and college students, has been rated and recognized by the Princeton Review as a top 10 service learning opportunity. And we've also been evaluated by the University of Miami, our research partner, in validating the curriculum that we're using. So diving into the program that we applied for is our middle school summer program. So this starts with our rising 5th grade students and goes through our rising 8th grade students. We do this at 5 different site locations here in Miami. It is a 6-week academic program. Each student is taking math, science, English, and social studies daily, and the curriculum and the content in those courses are all preparing them for the next grade level. So if they just finished 4th grade, they're seeing 5th grade standards. We want them to feel prepared and confident when they go back to school. So we're providing enrichment rather than remediation. And all of these classes are taught by our teaching fellows, our high school and college students, which I'll get into a little bit more later. They also, on top of their academic courses, which they do receive homework daily, they're on top of just the content, they're receiving study skills and other skill sets that'll help them be prepared for school the following year. In addition to the academics, they're taking electives and physical education classes daily as well. The electives can range from different classes in the STEM field. So we've had robotics, we've had aviation, to journalism, spoken word, dance, theater, playwriting, you kind of name it, and we've crossed it off the list at some point in time. But these courses are completely designed by the teaching fellows to really share their passion with the students. One of the things, we're also a culture of high expectations. So part of that culture of high expectations is that from day one, as a 4th grader applying to the program, we tell them that they can be a college student and they have what it takes to be a college student. So our application process is modeled after the college application process. So we tell them if they get accepted, they've already applied to college and they can do it again. So a lot of the routines and procedures that we have, we try to model off a culture of rigor and high expectations. So when they're choosing their electives, they get a course catalog and they have to rate it like they would, going to the registrar's office at a college campus to decide what they want to take. If they don't like that elective, they have to complete, our version of an add drop form. So we really try to model everything we do off of experiences that they'll have later in their academic journeys, just to give them that sense of confidence that they've done it before. We also believe that PE and physical activity is really important. So our students take PE for 60 minutes every single day. They choose different PE courses, hopefully also introducing them to sports that they may not normally be exposed to. So all of our 5th graders are taking aquatics and learning how to swim and be water safe. Some of the other non-traditional sports they might be exposed to is lacrosse. Soccer is not so non-traditional down here, but not all students get to play it. But lacrosse has been a really exciting addition for our students to learn about a sport that they might be interested in that they would not normally otherwise be exposed to. And on top of those kind of core things, we are really high energy every day. We sing songs and cheers as the students get off the bus. Energizers are throughout our day. And it's a culture of belonging, and we really create a family atmosphere for our students to have a comfortable environment while they're learning. Just some of the numbers from this year. We served 157 students this summer. This is both students, volunteers, and teaching fellows. Students, scholars in the program was just over 900, so the majority of that served our students in the program. As I said, it's an 8-year program, so most of the students are staying with us from year to year. We did welcome 207 new rising 5th graders across our 6 campuses. Throughout the summer program, we have above an 80% daily attendance rate. And looking at our end of year surveys with both our students and our families, 93% of our scholars reported that they felt more prepared for the start of the school year than they did after the summer program, and that 95% of the families reported that they were satisfied with the summer experience for their students. So just a really high rate of acceptance and enjoyment from the program, from both the students and the families. Just to dive into our teaching fellowship, as it's definitely unique to who we are. This summer, we welcomed 118 teaching fellows, so that's high school and college students. We do recruit them nationally, so we had 19 of them housed here in Miami, so they were South Florida residents join us for the summer. And why we value this and think this is an important component is it exposes our students to cultures and parts of the country and colleges that they may not ever be exposed to. So we've had some students this past summer from New York and California and Ohio, just to name a few. And these are individuals that our students may or may not otherwise come across. And just to understand the breakdown of college students versus high school students, about 70% of our 118 teaching fellows were current college students versus just shy of 30% were high school students. And you can see some of the colleges that they were coming from, so we're exposing them to quality academic institutions that they may or may not want to apply to later. But I'll never forget a story. One of our students, he was sharing with potential parents his experiences at Breakthrough, and somebody asked what college he would want to go to, and Pascal shared that he wanted to go to College of William and Mary, which is a little, out of the box for a young Haitian boy from Miami. But when you listen to his story, one of his most impactful teachers, Lamar, went to the College of William and Mary and inspired him. And then the story goes even further back. Lamar was a Breakthrough student, and he ended up going to the College of William and Mary because of one of his Breakthrough teachers. So that diversity and is really impactful for our students. And since it is a national application, just want to share with you all, our application for teaching fellowships does open next week. So if you know of any amazingly highly qualified college students that may enjoy this experience, you can pass that along to them. So that's our program. Really high level in just a few minutes of the great work that we're doing and how we're inspiring both the next generation of amazing leaders and also the next generation of educators. So thank you for having me today.
Thank you, Lauren, so much for that overview of your program. I know that our attendees got a good sense of the type of and quality of program that we're looking for for our awards. So now we're going to open up for questions from the audience, from myself or from Lauren. So you can go ahead and type those into the Q&A box. And it looks like we have a few already in here. So the question here from Janice is a sample of the application available outside of the web portal? So yes, we will put a copy on our website, but also before you actually log into the portal itself, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see a PDF of the application. But I will be sure to include a copy or a link to that in a follow-up webinar to everybody who registered for this webinar. We have a couple questions about our programs that operate year-round eligible. So yes, they are, but the thing I would say is to make sure that, and one of the questions that we will ask you eventually is how do you distinguish and make the summer separate and special, and the standalone from your year-round program. So Lauren gave a really great example of how they do during the summer that is different from what they do during the school year. Lauren, we have a question for you. Do students need to apply to the program each year if they participated the summer before?
No, once a student applies to Breakthrough Miami, they're a part of what we like to call our family. We just track their engagement, and because it's an 8-year program, engagement can look different at different points in their trajectory with us, but they do not reapply for the program each year.
Great, thank you. So another question is there a minimum size or budget or number of students served that a summer program must serve in order to be eligible to apply. So no, there isn't. Lauren's program is fairly large. We do have larger programs that are national, but one of our winners from last year had one site and was serving, I want to say probably 100 kids, 150 kids or so. So no, there isn't a minimum size or maximum size budget or number of kids, of students that need to be served. So we have a question here. Can you apply to this award more than once? So the answer to this is yes and no. The award, the application portal will allow you to complete at least up to 2 submissions per account. So you can, if you feel like you have 2 really great programs that you want to, that are different from each other, that you want to submit, you are welcome to complete the application more than once for each program. However, we will only be taking 1 submission from each organization to move to the second round. So it's up to you if you'd like to apply more than one, submit more than 1 application during round 1. You're welcome to do that, but we will be taking a look at the submissions that we get during round 1, and only 1 from each organization will move on to the next round. And this is kind of, next question is kind of similar. It says, it appears that Breakthrough Miami applied for a part of their program. Is that advisable to apply for a certain component of the program? For example, if we serve pre-K through 12, could we just submit for our early childhood portion? Yes, you could. If it's just, if you want to isolate that specific part of your program, your summer work, and apply for that, definitely would suggest doing that. One of our winners from this past summer won specifically for their summer fellowship part. So they have an actual summer program, and they have another summer component similar to what Lauren was describing, where they have summer fellowship, teaching fellowship program. And so they applied specifically for that fellowship and won for that. Questions are coming in. Give me one second, and let me read through some of these questions. And so I think I answered this question, hopefully. Our programs that operate year-round eligible to apply, yes, you definitely are, but we will want to make sure you are distinguishing and talking specifically about the work that you do during the summer. Lauren, we have another question for you. Your program sounds amazing. I love that you're using college students to teach your middle school students during the summer. Where do you get your curriculum from?
So we base all of our curriculum based off of state and national standards to make sure that our students are being prepared for what they're going to experience academically within their school settings. But we use local experienced educators and our partner at University of Miami to develop all of our curriculum. And we really, for the summer program, we really set objective maps of what we want the students to be able to achieve over the summer. And the teaching fellows are really charged to come up with very creative lesson plans on their own. I didn't mention this, but all of our teaching fellows are supported by what we call instructional coaches, which are experienced educators that work with us over the summer. They all work with a small department where they receive training for the week before the students come in. And the instructional coaches read every single lesson plan and provide feedback prior to it being taught, as well as a continuous cycle of observations for this teaching fellow as well.
Thank you. Doris, I'm going to see if I maybe understand what your question is. So you have this past summer you implemented a parent-child literacy program focused on early literacy. You're doing 5 sessions with with them and sharing with parents literacy strategies while the children work on literacy activities during that time. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like something that we would want to see you apply for. Might run into one of the eligibility questions. One of the things that we ask in the eligibility questions is that if programs are if they've done more than one summer of their program. So it might be a little early for you to apply. I would say go ahead and take a look at the application and those eligibility questions and see if they apply to you. If they don't this year, then maybe next year. And the number of parents that you're mentioning of 10 to 15 parents at 10 sites throughout the county, that yep, the size is not a big deal. That definitely sounds interesting. And like I said, as long as you're meeting those initial eligibility questions, we definitely would want to hear about your program. So we have a question, do you have to log in the application process to get this information again? So no. If you're talking about just the webinar itself, we'll be sending that link to that out and also putting that on our website. And to get the information as far as eligibility or being able to see a copy of the application questions, you will click on the link that says apply today on our website. You won't actually have to sign in, but if you scroll down that page, there's all kinds of information that's both on our website and on that page about the eligibility, all the different categories of awards. So you don't have to log in to actually get this information again. So question, our program offers scholarships to schools and students as needed. Since we do charge some families, would this disqualify us? No, this does not disqualify you. We do look for programs who are addressing the needs of underserved youth, but charging a fee would not disqualify you. If your organization has won in the past, can you apply again? So last year was the first year that we allowed some of our past winners to reapply again. I'm going to be reaching out to the past winners who are now eligible to apply again. But I will be reaching out to them individually. So the general answer is no. If you've won in the past, you cannot apply again. So, but some of our earlier winners, we're letting them back in, but you will get an individual email from me letting you know. So a question here, if an organization advances beyond round one, can you provide a better sense of the length of round two application and time staff commitment involved for the phone interviews and round three visits? So the round two application, I would say, is maybe just a little bit longer than the round one application. I'm sorry, I can't really give you a good idea of how long it takes people to complete them, but the questions are more in depth than in the round one questions. We really get more into the types of activities, their approach to planning and involving youth and staff and how you're approaching youth development with within your program. The phone interviews get scheduled in the spring, and those are usually about an hour long. And then the round three site visits will happen in the summer, and those are full day site visits, depending on kind of what type of program you have and what there is to see. We'll set those up. I feel like our site visits are really pretty informal, more laid back. We just kind of want to go and see and get a feel for what your program looks like in person. So I don't know, maybe Lauren, if you want to share kind of your experience with that.
Sure. So the application process compared to, you definitely need to provide detail, and you want to focus some time like you would be like writing a grant, but it's not overly tenuous or strenuous. The questions are really straightforward and really give you an opportunity to talk about the great work that your organizations are doing. Like Leslie said, the phone interview was an hour. It was myself and one of our on-the-ground site directors, just so he could speak to specific stories and be able to highlight some of the quality experiences from the past summer with some great detail. But there was really no prep work for that, and it was more of a conversation with a panel. And the site visit, like Leslie said, we had 2 individuals from NSLA come and visit us over the summer. I met them in the morning and we gave them a schedule of what classrooms they should stop by. They really followed what would be a typical student schedule. And we had student ambassadors or scholar ambassadors, which were some of our older students that were volunteering for the summer, that met them in between each period to help them navigate the campus. But they were really on their own and really took the time to observe the program through the eyes of the students, and maybe ask them questions as they bumped into the director throughout the day. But myself as a managing program director met them in the morning and let them do their thing all day. So it's definitely a process, but it's not a tenuous one. And anybody who thinks that they have a program worthy of this award, I would say it's worth the time to complete the application. It's not too cumbersome.
Okay, thanks, Lauren. So we have more questions. Can we post a PowerPoint online? Yes, we can do that. The question, what are the chances of a smaller nonprofit being awarded? Yes, so you definitely have a chance of doing this. As you're going through the questions, if you're able to provide some kind of detailed responses to those questions, you're definitely still in the running to be awarded. What do we look for in terms of soliciting and incorporating youth input for programs with elementary age participants? So this is kind of gets to the area of youth voice and what we look for with programs. And you can see some of this if you look at some of the information that we have on our website about the Summer Learning Program Quality Assessment and in our Summer Starts in September Planning Guide. We look for programs to think of ways to solicit youth input, whether that's through surveys and evaluations, and figuring out if youth, how they are engaging with the activities, but also soliciting and looking for youth input as far as are youth asked about the types of activities that they want to do and involved in the planning process for the summer. It doesn't have to be super involved or anything like that, but just really thinking about the program from the youth perspective and taking their input into account. And there's definitely ways that can be done for all ages. So the question is there any sustainability money for a program that has already won, or do they need to apply for funds each year? So no, there is not any sustainability money for a program that's already won. Kind of going to the earlier question, if you've already won in the recent years, you won't be eligible to apply again. The other thing I'll add to this question is, because it comes up sometimes, is that this isn't a grant. There's a monetary award that's attached to the award. So if you're looking for funding to help, so for example, support your 2019 summer program, this might not be the process for you, because that money will be awarded probably after next summer. So if that's kind of what your goal is with applying for this award, this might not be the one for you. I hope that answers that question. So the last question I'm seeing here is, do you know of any specific grants that programs can apply for the summer specifically? We receive funding for the school year for our after-school program, but we're looking for funding for our summer camp. So I'm not sure if they've opened it yet, but the After School Alliance does an actual grant. I believe, I want to say 2-year grants they might be doing. So you can check out their website to see if they have opened that. So those are grants that they are doing. And also other sources to think about might be 21st century funding. That's federal money. Definitely that's something that you should look into and tap into if you're not already. If you're looking for funding for summer meals, USDA, the summer meals program, is another good source of funding. There is a funding guide that we put together that I will include, since I'm mentioning it here, I will include in the follow-up email that I send out that lists some of the different funding sources that we see programs applying to and using for their summer programs. And there's also a lot of funding that's available under ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act, that are applicable to summer as well. I will make a note to myself to include that in the follow-up email that I send out. Okay, give me a second to make sure I got into all the questions I see typed in here. Kate, I believe I answered your question about the time commitment, so I'm going to answer that done. But if I didn't answer your question about time commitment, please let me know in the Q&A box. All right, I think those are all the questions that I see. Thanks, Kate. I think that those are all the questions that I see here. So I'm going to wrap things up now. And thanks again, Lauren, for all your great information about your program and helping us out with those questions as well. So again, just a reminder, round 1 applications are due Friday, December 21st. And I will be sending out an email with a link to the application, a copy of the PowerPoint slides, those 2 funding resources that I mentioned, and I believe a link to the recording as well. That might take a minute to come out, so if you want to go ahead and see the application right now, it is live on our website on the Summer Learning Awards page. You can click on that Apply To button and go straight to the application. Like I mentioned before, you don't have to log in to see the kind of introductory and background information and to download a PDF of the round 1 application questions. And those will include those eligibility questions that I mentioned. So I hope you will continue to engage with NSLA on social media to keep track of the latest summer learning activities. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And my email address is there on the screen. If you have any questions about the application, And email, again, to address any technical support questions that you have is up there as well. Thank you again for joining us. I think you've heard a lot about the high quality indicators of summer learning success in the summer learning award process, and I hope that it was informative. I can't wait to read your application soon. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.